You ever notice how some commercials just like burrow into your brain?
Yeah.
Years later, you're humming the tune or
Saying the catchphrase, yeah.
exactly, and you don't even know why. So today, we're doing a deep dive into what makes those ads so sticky, so unforgettable, and how they've actually shaped things.
Right. We've been digging into excerpts from Where's the Beef, the catchphrases that changed advertising forever. And it's pretty amazing how these little ads, these short bits of content, can have such a lasting impact.
Totally.
So yeah, our mission today is really to unpack that magic. What's the secret sauce behind these ads that just stick around?
Okay, so the source material talks about the shift, right?
Mm.
How ads went from just like showing you a vacuum cleaner
It's
working
your demonstration.
to actually telling little stories. What was key there?
Well, back in the early TV days, it was very straightforward, very literal. Here's the product, here's what it does. Simple.
Mm-hmm.
But then I think advertisers realized connecting emotionally. That was the real power. It wasn't just about features.
It had to feel like something.
Exactly. So that pushed things towards, well, narratives, characters you could maybe see yourself in, and just getting better at grabbing attention and building that brand connection beyond the specs.
And speaking of storytelling, the book really zeroes in on one huge example. Wendy's Where's the Beef? Back in, what, 84?
Oh, yeah. 1984. Clara Peller.
Iconic. Just absolutely iconic.
It really was lightning in a bottle.
Yeah.
Her delivery of Where's the Beef? I mean, it started as just a jab at competitors, right?
Right.
Saying their burgers were all bun.
Just a simple critique.
But it just exploded. It went way beyond advertising, became this huge cultural thing. People were saying it everywhere.
They really were. The source mentions it even came up in, like, political debates, which is kind of nuts for a fast food ad.
It really shows you, doesn't it, if a message hits the right nerve.
It can go anywhere. So, okay, you've got Clara Peller, you've got that killer line. What else does the book say makes an ad stick in your head?
Well, several things come up. First, those catchy jingles and really punchy catchphrases. They're super effective.
Right.
Think of, like, Alka-Seltzer. Plop, plop, fizz, fizz.
Instantly recognizable.
Totally. Simple sound, easy to remember, connects right to what the product does. Or Nike's Just Do It.
Oh, yeah, classic.
3 words, but so powerful, right?
Right.
Sums up the whole brand. They work because they're, well, easy for our brains to latch onto cognitive fluency, you could call it. And they usually hit some kind of emotion, too.
Like relief or feeling empowered.
Exactly. It becomes almost automatic. Hearing it brings the brand right to mind.
So easy recall, emotional hook. What else makes them memorable?
The source also really emphasizes having relatable characters and strong narratives. Think about the Energized Bunny.
Keeps going and going.
Yeah, it's such a simple visual way to show long battery life using this persistent little character. Or those Coca-Cola holiday ads.
Always get you right in the feels.
They do. They tell these heartwarming stories, family, connection, stuff that resonates with almost everyone, especially at that time of year. It stops being just about the soda.
Yeah.
It's the feeling, the story you link to it, like getting drawn into the narrative itself.
Yeah, you're not just buying Coke. You're buying into that warmth, that little moment. The book also gives a nod to some advertising giants like David Ogilvy and Bill Burnback. How did they kind of pave the way for this stuff?
Ogilvy and Burnback were definitely pioneers. They really pushed advertising away from just facts and figures towards something more engaging, more emotional. Ogilvy was brilliant at weaving these sophisticated stories around products, creating this sense of, like, aspiration. Burnback, he was all about creativity, emotional honesty. He thought ads should entertain you, not just sell to you.
So they kind of laid the groundwork.
Absolutely. Their influence is still felt today in the best, most impactful ads.
It's funny, though, how some of the biggest ones, like you said with Where's the Beef, started out so straightforward.
Yeah, just a direct comparison.
Were there other examples in the book of ads that kind of blew up unexpectedly?
Definitely. The source brings up the old Spice campaign, The Man Your Man Could Smell Like.
Oh, yeah. That was huge.
Right. It was meant to be funny, kind of poke fun at those super serious grooming ads. But the combination of the crazy scenarios and Isaiah Mustafa's charisma.
He was perfect.
It really was. It just went viral. It shows how being fresh, unexpected, maybe a bit weird.
Yeah, and funny.
And funny, yeah. That can totally grab people and become part of the chatter.
So this leads into some practical tips. The book actually lists 5 things for making a memorable ad. What are the big ones?
Okay, so number 1, craft a catchy catchphrase. Easy to say, easy to remember, captures the brand somehow.
Makes sense.
2, tell a compelling story. Something that draws people in, feels relatable, maybe entertains them.
Okay.
3, use relatable characters. People the audience can either see themselves as or maybe aspire to be like.
Right, that connection.
4, tap into emotions. Use humor, warmth, nostalgia. Something that makes people feel, because that lasts.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, number 5, keep it simple. Don't overcomplicate it. A clear message often cuts through all the noise much better.
Those seem like really solid basics. Build on those. But the book apparently had a couple of more unusual tips, too, for thinking outside the norm.
Yeah, a couple of interesting ones for standing out. One is breaking the fourth wall.
Talking directly to the audience.
Exactly. Addressing the viewer, making them feel included, like part of it. It can feel more personal, more direct.
Okay.
The other one was leveraging unexpected partnerships,
Mm-hmm.
collaborating with, people or brands you wouldn't normally associate together.
Ah, the surprise factor.
Yeah, it creates novelty, makes you stop and go, huh. Makes the ad stand out from the crowd.
So basically, don't be afraid to get creative, maybe even a little weird sometimes.
Pretty much. Take a calculated risk.
So stepping back from just selling stuff,
Uh-huh.
what's the bigger significance here? Why do we even care about these old commercials so much?
That's what's really fascinating, I think. These ads become more than just ads. They end up being like little time capsules.
How so?
They capture the mood, the humor, maybe the anxieties of a specific time. They reflect the culture back at us. And then they become these reference points, cultural touchstones.
Things everyone recognizes.
Exactly. You quote the line, everyone gets it. And the source points out, a lot of these classics came from when TV was king. Everyone was watching the same thing, so these ads had this massive shared audience.
A shared experience that's harder to get now.
Much harder. So in a way, the really good ones became this kind of popular art form, reflecting who we were at that moment. Where's the beef? Wasn't just about tiny burgers. It tapped into this feeling in the 80s maybe, about substance, about getting what you paid for.
Okay, connecting it to the broader context.
Right, or the Old Spice guy playing with ideas about masculinity as that was shifting too. They often tap into something bigger than just the product.
Wow, so these little 30-second spots actually end up playing a pretty big role culturally, more than just an earworm jingle.
Definitely more. They give us this glimpse into our collective past, and they really show the power of creativity to connect with millions of people, sometimes for decades.
This has been super interesting. Really makes you think differently about those ads you remember.
It does, doesn't it? Makes you wonder which ones have stuck with you and try to figure out why.
Yeah.
And it kind of leaves us with a big question, maybe for you listening. Now that media is so fragmented, everyone's watching different things on different screens. What's it going to take? What are the new ways advertisers might find to create those shared, iconic moments that last like the classics did?
That's a great thought to end on. Something to chew on.